Next Tuesday, Victorians will be reminded of how broke their state really is. Budget Day is next Tuesday, the 7th of May, and it will be delivered to Parliament by the Treasurer, Tim Pallas. It will be his 10th try, 10, count them, at managing the finances of Australia's second biggest state by population. Incredibly, Pallas is vowed to stay on to present another budget next year. Tim Pallas, what a joke. How could anyone with any sense of pride keep overseeing the financial destruction of the state they are in charge of? Tim Pallas will inevitably increase taxes on Victorians next week. To be fair to Pallas, this is his first budget without the domineering shadow of dictator Dan Andrews looking over his shoulder. But this government has, month after month, week after week, warned Victorians that it will be a horror state budget. And of course, a week later, grim Jim Chalmers will hand down the federal budget in the middle of the worst cost of living crisis Australia has seen in half a century. 14 days of tough news for anyone already struggling to balance their own budget at home. Interestingly, most people do a better job at that than Pallas or Chalmers do. But what happens when a state government has so badly handled the finances that they are using, where they have to pay more than $20 million of taxpayers' dollars every day, not every week, not every month, every day, and that payment of interest rates on the debt is predicted to reach $33 million a day by 2027. I mean, think about that for a moment. $33,000 million a day. I mean, seriously, it's a national disgrace. And people like Andrews, Daniel Andrews, walk away, take their lifetime pension and set up some private company and tell anyone who wants to listen that he's off to play golf. How embarrassing should he be? How embarrassed. Makes you sick to the stomach, to be honest. The new Premier, Jacinta Allen, she seems clueless, and it looks like she'd rather be anywhere else but trying to fix up Dan Andrews' mess. So what are the real-time impacts of a monstrous waste of taxpayer money and the crippling impact that debt has? And, of course, we had those unnecessary lockdowns during COVID. Well, the obvious ones are the numbers of Victorians fleeing the state. But those who have to stay will now have to put up with a crumbling health system. Want an example? Well, I'll give you one. A female patient died this Wednesday in the Maroondah Hospital. Not in a ward, not even in a bed, but on a trolley while waiting to be admitted. A hospital whistleblower has told the Herald Sun the emergency department of that hospital was, quote, standing room only. Ambulances outside were backed up and there were no beds for anyone. And other staff have revealed the hospital had been at capacity all week and staff were exhausted. Staff revealed the woman was the second death in emergency this week. The hospital denies that. All measures of admissions are failing. It's appalling. This is the face of that crippling debt. Add to it crumbling school facilities as public schools fall apart, and I mean the buildings, a police force struggling with member numbers in the middle of a youth crime crisis, public housing waiting lists blowing out by tens of years, and businesses collapsing by the day. Thanks, Dan. Enjoy your retirement while someone else tries to fix the mess you left behind.